Hello, my name is Elena Ivoshevich, and my research project is COVID-19 compared to other historic pandemics. Introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic is one of the largest global issues currently faced. As Figure 1 shows, the particles are very small, but they could be very deadly. COVID-19 may be the largest viral outbreak in recent history, but this is not the world's first pandemic. This study will compare COVID-19 to 17 other pandemics using 3 different methods. Some background information. So first piece, death toll is the number of people who will die in an accident or disaster. 2, the main difference between a virus and a bacteria is that a bacteria can survive on their own inside or outside of a host, but a virus needs to live inside a host, otherwise it will die. Third piece, geography is the study of plants and the relationship between people and their environments. Fourth piece, if an outbreak begins in a city, it typically spreads very quickly due to the close proximity of residents. 5, while the coronavirus that caused COVID-19 is relatively small in size, it isn't the smallest virus particle out there. Now let's look at my method. This study was conducted to help others understand the severity of the current COVID-19 pandemic relative to similar situations in history. COVID-19 will be compared to the Black Death, smallpox, Spanish flu, plague of Justinian, HIV/AIDS, Third Plague, Antonine Plague, 17th century plagues, Asian flu, Russian flu, Hong Kong flu, cholera, Japanese smallpox, 18th century plagues, swine flu, and Ebola. This will be accomplished by using the 3 methods explained below. First, we have death toll. The death toll of COVID-19 will be compared to the death tolls of the other pandemics listed. Viral versus bacterial. Bar graphs comparing both the viral and bacterial diseases will be based on death toll will be created. And we have geography. 2 sample pandemics will be taken and compared to COVID-19 based on death toll per continent. Now we have the results. Figure 2 shows the death toll of all historic pandemics. The Black Death has the largest death toll of 200 million, and Ebola has the smallest death toll of approximately 10,000. COVID-19 is in the middle with a death toll of 2 million as of February 2021. Now, if we zoom into the second half of the graph, Figure 3 is a sample of Figure 2, which shows a comparison of all pandemics with a death toll under 5 million. In this sample, Ebola has the lowest death toll of approximately 10,000, while the Antonine Plague has the highest death toll of 5 million. COVID-19 still falls in the middle with 2 million deaths. Now let's look at the viral versus bacterial results. Figure 4 is showing each disease classified as a bacteria or a virus. The green ones are bacteria and the red ones are viruses. Viruses are more common. The graph shows 6 bacteria and 11 viruses. Now zooming into the second half of the graph, Figure 5 is a sample of Figure 4 that focuses on the pandemics with death tolls under 5 million. Each disease is classified as a virus or a bacteria. Green are bacteria, red are viruses. And even in this sample, viruses are more common. There are 3 bacteria and 8 viruses in this sample. Now looking at the geography results. Figure 6 shows death toll per continent of COVID-19. It is clear to see that Europe has the largest COVID-19 death toll with 921,000 deaths, and Australia has the lowest with about 909. Figure 7 demonstrates death tolls by continent of the Black Death or the bubonic plague. Just like COVID-19, Europe was affected the most with 50 million deaths, and Australia was affected the least with only a few hundred. The difference is that the Americas weren't affected as much as with COVID-19. Figure 8 shows the death toll per continent for Ebola. Ebola mainly killed people in Africa with about 11,000 deaths, and there was one death in the Americas, specifically in the US. Now let's look at the analysis. Although it is incredibly serious, COVID-19 is not the largest pandemic in history. This study has shown that a lot of the more recent pandemics, swine flu, Ebola, Asian flu, have all been significantly smaller, and there are a few reasons. First, medical technology. Medical equipment and technology have gotten much better, and scientists can treat diseases faster. Second reason is who gets affected. COVID-19 is only a risk to those 65 and older or those with an underlying medical condition. Spanish flu was a threat to the young and healthy. This can affect how many people die. And the third reason is the media. The use of online media helps officials warn the people faster than they were able to in the past. Although COVID-19 is not the largest pandemic, it is still going on and it is not clear what the outcome will be. Figure 9 is the CDC's best estimate of where this pandemic will go. Now we have the viral versus bacterial analysis. This study has proved that viral diseases are much more common than bacterial diseases, and most bacterial pandemics happened in the past rather than more recently. The conclusion is that there's a very specific reason why, and it's antibody development. The main reason why viruses are more common is because of things we've done to stop bacteria. Bacteria can survive on any surface, with or without a host. Humanity now has many antibacterial products such as wipes, sprays, soaps, hand sanitizers, and much more. Viruses can only survive inside of a host, so they must be treated differently. And it takes more time, so viruses have a better chance of getting to the pandemic level. We didn't have these products back then, so bacteria was much more common. Geography analysis. This study clearly shows a comparison between Ebola, Black Death, and COVID-19 based on death toll per continent. There were some similarities, such as how COVID-19 spread all around the world, just like Black Death, and how COVID-19 and Ebola are both modern pandemics. So then why are modern pandemics smaller and less widespread than the older ones? Let's go back to what was stated earlier. The main reason is because of the media. The Black Death took place in the 1300s, where there was no form of communication other than pen and paper. It was not possible to warn neighboring countries in a timely manner. Now, with the rise of social media, officials can quickly warn all of the neighboring countries with a tap of a button. COVID-19 is different, as we do have all of the equipment and tech, but COVID-19 is a new virus and it takes longer to find a cure and a vaccine. To conclude this study, COVID-19 is the biggest issue of our time, and scientists are still working hard to slow the spread. Understanding how COVID-19 is compared to other pandemics is very important because we can find trends and speed up the process. There are many factors that go into comparing these pandemics, like time period, type, and geography, but putting in the time to do this can really help in a crisis. The next steps are to continue monitoring COVID-19 and seeing if experts can fix this based on what is known and what is discovered. My scientific principle is the speed and accuracy of the media affects how information is delivered, therefore impacting how fast a disease will spread. Thank you.